Welcome to Blake Street Banter, where one of us knows what the word banter means. The other two are just along for the ride. Mike, say what's up.
What's up? What's up? Last week, me and Isaac did this pod, and the Rockies were at an embarrassing 4 and I think 16. So definitely didn't get much worse than that.
No. Isaac, what is your least favorite chore to do around the house?
I'm really not a fan of brooming the floor, sweeping the floor. Really don't like
it. I'm just stealing that. Brooming the floor. I'm telling my kids to go broom the floor here on out. Heck yeah. No, sweeping sucks. I feel you on that one. So yeah, we're here talking the farm, prospects, road to Blake Street, all that kind of good stuff. We're gonna hit on some transactions here in a little bit, and then we're gonna throw some theories at the wall and see which one sticks. I keep hearing the Rockies prospects just aren't ready. There's clearly an organizational divide between the minors and the majors. Something's happening there. We just kind of threw one out there about the old hitting coach and what was going wrong there, but maybe there's some numbers that we can look at, and we have some theories. So we're going to throw that in there. We'll also highlight some of the dogs. We had 2 players of the weeks this week, one in Fresno, one in Spokane. So we'll highlight all those, highlight the guys that are doing everything they're supposed to, and hopefully get a call up soon. But before all that, make sure you share this with your mama. We are her favorite podcast. She just does not know it yet. And make sure you tune in on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, random times this week. We were just a bunch of baseball fans trying to figure out how to give baseball content in a very dark season. So Blake Street Banter with Noah and Patrick tomorrow, and then Best of the West with Skylar and K-Dub at the end of the week. Always good conversations with them because they actually talk about good stuff in baseball, and it's like, oh, that's what good baseball is like. So make sure you tune into those dudes. But
I would say the NL West standings graphic, just what it looks like, is pretty funny.
I mean, just look at the top 4. It's like, oh wow,
then you have the 5th. Law of averages.
The law of averages. We are fine, right? And I love the stat that's going around. The Rockies are 4-22 or whatever, and they are on pace to win 25 games. This is worse than the Chicago White Sox. Technically, the Chicago White Sox were on pace to win 25 games last year as well, but still 144. So the law of averages do state that we will not win just 25 games.
We will win less. Law of averages can go the other way too. So
no, it's not that drastic. It balances. It's like,
I do agree, yeah. It's
like
if we look at it at the end of the year, we'll probably look back at what we were thinking now and be like, all right, we weren't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, if we're at the end of this year and we're going, this was not that bad of a season, that's a win, right? It can only go up here. If we're seeing some kind of progress towards the future and kind of our main topic of conversation tonight and seeing some of that's coming to fruition, I think it's a win of a season. Because it can't be this bad this long. This is rough. How many Rockies games have you actually tuned in?
A lot. I think all of them.
Okay, so you are.
I will say what's worrying me this past week is we've had a couple games where I think we've been lucky, situationally, but we still haven't won them. We had a couple games where, we gave up a bunch of home runs and we got out a lot of bases loaded stuff, and all the home runs were solo shots and we still lost by 2. When we could have lost by 12, Yes. So I will say that's what's kind of worrying me because we're not a good team. And normally you win a lot of games you don't really deserve to. And we're not winning those games that we get lucky in. We're also not being the better team in any game. So
no, we are definitely trying to keep up with the competition rather than have the competition be on par with it. I will give it that they are salty. They aren't getting blown out every single game. I think minus yesterday. I think yesterday was bad, but they're 1-2 run games. They're not terrible. But let's get to the transactions. So everybody's favorite Juan Mejia is back up in the majors. Bradley Blaylock made a spot start last night. Yesterday didn't go well. He's been sent down to AAA, and to fill his role, they brought up Juan Mejia, who the BSB team is kind of split on. I heard you guys talk about Juan Mejia last week. Very interesting. I know Mike is just anti Mejia, but I think he's back on board. Stuff is nasty. I think his changeup, right, Isaac, is the nasty pitch, the best, probably the best in the organization, and hopefully we can see more. The slider.
It's the slider.
Slider's the nasty one. So him and Chavi, I've always compared 1 and 2. So Juan Mejia, it's nasty stuff. He's worked his walk rate down, so there's something there. And then, Mike, what are you thinking about this Alan Trejo, Owen Miller mix up top? A little frustrating, right?
The Braves just like got Eddie Rosario from the Dodgers AAA team, and I was like, man, that's who they get from AAA. We get Alan Trejo. No offense, Alan Trejo. This is not an Alan Trejo segment. This is a Rocky segment. And look, Trejo's a great player, right? Fine player, replacement guy. But from the Rockies' perspective, going to get Trejo just seems like they only have like 4 numbers in the phone that they know how to dial. And it is almost like it's not like who Trejo is. It's more like what he represents in this whole Rockies thing where it's like they're going to go back to their guys. Like, I'm sure Hensley Mullins will be I'm sure he's still in the building somehow. I'm sure they're going out to dinner to go see him. I'm sure he's, getting the coffee in there. They're having the break room talk with him, even though he's been fired. I'm sure that's still happening. It's outrageous. I will say, you did say the one-score thing, or the one-run game thing. We have gotten extremely unlucky in one-score games, especially recently. Dodgers, Nationals, we had a 1 against the Reds. We're just kind of getting screwed there, even extra inning games. So I will say, I don't think we're that bad. The run differential, though, is pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, when they've gotten blown out, they've gotten blown out. But I would say the last week or so, since Mullins has started serving coffee, the games have been a little bit better. So it is a little bit of that. But I like what you said. It's just about what Trejo represents. Like, they couldn't look outside of the organization, even though Trejo was out of the organization. They couldn't think outside the box to bring somebody in. Like I loved the Joe Rock for Greg Jones trade. Still doesn't make much sense, but it was outside the box thinking. Like, we're gonna trade and bring a super utility guy with some speed that might add a little bit extra flair. Let's see what this looks like. Like, that was fun. That made sense. We're not bringing an old head back into it. Like, I
will say,
I'm surprised they didn't reach out to the Royals and bring back Hampson, honestly.
Sometimes you need to think inside the box, right? The Rockies need to start thinking inside the box. We are not clearly, when we think outside the box, it doesn't work. Maybe we bring back if we bring back Raimel Tapia, you know what? Maybe I'll be like, a little happy that we stick to our priors, but beyond that, I just can't be excited about. I mean, Coco Montes is next, and it's like, I love Coco as like a person. I love him, but I want to see some new guys there.
Yeah, I would have rather see Coco Montes instead of Alan Trejo. Again, no offense to Trejo, but it just what it's representing, it's exhausting. And so Owen Miller, he got the call up. For me, like I know you're a little frustrated. I saw your tweets, but this is exactly why Owen Miller was signed to a minor league contract. Was for this reason specifically. When traded for, very valid. When everybody gets hurt and you need somebody with major league experience just to fill in the role, that's Owen Miller. And so I think him getting the call up, it's exactly how it's supposed to play out. That was the plan. That is the plan. That's what it's supposed to be. So I'm not really mad about the Owen Miller. He hasn't played much. Like, as long as he's not taking ABs from Adele Amador, I think we're okay. So we'll see how that plays out. And we'll get into like, why wasn't Ryan Ritter considered? We're going to get into that in a little bit too. Gilbreth was DFA'd. We kind of talked about that a little bit in spring training. His progression forward back from all the injuries just hasn't been solid. So he was DFA'd. I do not know if he cleared waivers or not. So I don't know if he's still in the organization or if it still needs another day. Braxton Fulford's back down to AAA, which makes sense. And then I think you guys talked about it last week, but Austin Becker was the very first minor league farm system promotion. Did you guys talk about it last week, or do we need to cover it right now?
I think he was still a Fresno Grizzly last week, but I think we did say during the pod that the call-up is really soon.
That's what it was. So Austin Becker, he's a Spokane Indian. We got our first movement across the organization. He was lights out in Fresno. So huge shout out to Austin for being the first one of the year. Next up is the players of the week. I'll let you talk about your boy down in Fresno. Had himself a day yesterday.
Yeah, I just got to go ahead and just apologize. Last week, I said he was a big guy, and I didn't mean it. It was more like a transition thing. He got in the crosshairs of me trying to make a transition joke. He's not. He's like the skinniest guy in the org. He's in shape, right?
He's a lean mother.
Sorry to Miss Johnson and LeBaron there. But hey, I mean, hopefully it fueled him up because clearly 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 8 Ks on the season. It's a 1.75 FIP. According to MILBtracker.com. I think Fangraphs says 1.9 or 2.99, but 1.75 FIP, which is amazing. Striking out guys, didn't walk anyone this week, hasn't really walked a lot on the season. Just consistently been the best pitcher. Really rough week for Fresno. San Jose is a great lineup, great team.
Yeah.
Killing guys, but he held his own against that lineup, held his own. I think he can go to Spokane, and I think he'll do just as well.
Yeah, I'm curious. They didn't do a lot of Fresno to Spokane call-ups last year, but he is definitely knocking the door. He's doing his best Jace Kaminska impression right now.
I mean, I would say we thought like coming into the season, it'd be Brody Brecht that would be knocking on the door and kind of making his name out there. Hey, call me up. I need this call up. But it's really been LeBaron Johnson.
Yeah. What do you say? Strike out.
He call out on the broadcast, the MLB broadcast. So shout out that.
Yeah, right. Striking out 22 batters in 20 innings on the mound. That whip was .755, and that fastball is run up to 98 miles an hour, combined with that mid-80 slider. Thank you, Fresno media team, for sending that over with us. So I haven't been able to watch a lot of Fresno. I haven't watched any Fresno, to be honest. I haven't watched any baseball. My life is crazy right now. It sucks. I need summer here. I need to be able to just relax a little bit. This is a crazy time. And then Jared Thomas. I think that is what Tyler's guy. I think that's on the other rundown. No, he likes the other one. Blake Wright.
Yeah.
Jared Thomas, though, he has been on fire to start the season, which is very hard to do in Spokane. He hit 500 last week. Where's this graphic? 520 average, 10 runs, 3 homers, 11 RBIs, a 1560 OPS last week. Like, if I see that, I'm thinking like, all right, that's a solid 3 weeks of production. But dude, man, just did it in 1 week in Spokane. So huge shout out to Jared Thomas for just continuing to stay hot and lighting the Spokane Indians on fire up there. So a lot of good things happening. Only one player per league is getting a player of the week, and we took two of them home. Jared Thomas has a third highest WRC plus in that Northwest League at 175. Just insane numbers. I don't know where he's playing defensively. Maybe Isaac, you can get on that. I know he's a super utility guy for out of Texas, senior draft pick, I believe. So we'll see what comes up with that. But you have Aiden Longwell, you have Skylar Messenger, all doing work up there, just going to town. Cole Messina had a homer in Spokane. I guess we're talking about Spokane Indians right now, Mike. Like my guy Aiden Longwell had 7 for 23, a double, a homer, happened to be a grand slam, but his walk to strikeout rate, 3 walks to 2 Ks, something that we're not seeing a lot, that we kind of vented about off air before in the major league level, and lowest K percentage in the system right now for my guy Aiden Longwell. Like, you just don't teach that kind of bat skills, and I think Aiden Longwell has kind of proven that he can be a little difference maker there.
Yeah, with Jared Thomas, I mean, I want to point out he has 100 plate appearances, which makes his stats just perfect to look at.
I love that.
He has like a 15% walk percentage, 19% or 21% strikeout percentage. So he's doing the process is great, and then of course the results we see. Northwest Player of the Week this week, and he's just hitting the ball everywhere. He's got power. I put in the thing. He's a jack of all trades, but I don't really think he has a trade that is a trade that I think is like elite. So I think he doesn't really master at anything. But we see players become very good ball players just doing this thing, being good at everything. There's not really part of his game that he's like a liability at. He's been playing a lot in the outfield, so defensively he's there. One more thing on Aiden Longwell, you kind of pointed out. When you're drafting in the second half of the draft, after round 10, you're really looking at guys who excel at one thing. Well, usually power is not the thing that they will excel at. They'll probably go a little earlier. If you can get a guy that can just make contact with the ball, then you kind of look at that and go, hey, we can just develop something else, right? The defensive side of the ball, or just a little more juice in the bat, and we have a good hitter. And he has the contact percentage. The zone contact percentage is insane. He's going to be hard to strike out because he's going to foul it off if he, doesn't like it. So I do love Aiden Longwell. Just if you're really good at something, it makes it so much easier to become a good prospect. Yep.
Yeah, 100% agree. His prospect ratings, according to Fangraphs, has a 30 hit tool, 35 game power, 50 raw power, 50 speed, 30 field. So the hit tool, we'll see how long this lasts. I mean, it's a little bit better than his projections out of Texas last year. So we'll see how that goes across 200 at-bats going forward. But not the worst.
He's been a high average guy his whole life. So I don't know why.
Yeah, why
to
is
30. I don't know. Fangraphs. I might have to call their manager.
This is where we need our guy Tyler to come in with the stats behind the scenes. Let's go down to let's just run through the highlights of everybody. Let's go to Fresno. I mean, obviously LeBaron Johnson went to town. Brody Brecht, I'll let you talk about Ronier Hernandez. Brody Brecht went 3 innings pitched, 3 Ks, 0 earned runs. But that walk, more walks than strikeouts last week with 4 walks. Not very good. The walk percentage, something that we were a little concerned about, right? Controlling the pitches. He had that great first outing, a lot of command, a lot of control of all of his pitches. But since that first outing, walk rates are high, 7.7 walks per 9 right now, which is definitely not something you want to see. And then Tommy Hoffey, just Mr. Clutch, Mr. Fresno himself. He's taking the EJ Andrews role to heart down there, coming out of Fresno State. Hoffey 6 for 20 last week, 2 homers, 3 walks, 4 Ks, 3 stolen base. He just seems just a solid dude, ball player. He's going to try to win games. He's going to do what he can to win games, and he continues to do that early in the season. But what about Ronier? I need a pronunciation.
Yeah. Anytime we go to these DSL guys, we got to just let Isaac immediately take out. Let Isaac take the floor here.
Nice switch up. I like that.
Woo! For Ronier specifically, he's always been a hit tool guy. And there's always questions when guys make the adjustment to the low A level if that's going to be sustainable. And so far this year, he's been great. He's he's only striking out 14% of the time and walking even more than that at 15% of the time. So you have a guy who's preventing walks, he's preventing strikeouts, he's getting on base through walks, he's getting singles, his hit tool is sustainable. It's really exciting, honestly. And usually with those guys with the really good hit tools, they don't have the power yet, and that can hurt their game results. But for Ronier, he's been keeping it on the ground 58% of the time, nearly at that 60% mark, and he's still getting hits out of it. So take that as you will.
Is he a fast guy?
Yeah, great runner, great fielder. He's a really typical leadoff batter.
Yeah, and that's something it's one of my theories is that ground ball rate with these fast guys without the power. You want a ground ball rate high. You want the line drive around there. So the fact that he's ground balling things right now is good. And then the power and stuff as he feels in, hopefully the fly balls go up a little bit. But
yeah,
like we see that with Simpson right now, right? Like he's a dog for the Rays, but he's hitting everything on the ground. I'll pull it up later. Everything on the ground, he knows exactly who he's supposed to be. He knows what he's supposed to do, and it's working for him at a major league level. So I think a guy like Ronier Hernandez, like, it's intriguing because like if he knows what he is and they can turn him into that, like not be a jack of all trades, so to speak, like, hey, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to be. Let's just hone in on this and let's just see what happens.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see how that goes.
He's a guy that I've compared to Juan Brito and Ade Alamador, just from their discipline at such an elite level at a young age. Really exciting stuff.
Yeah, love it. Thank you, Isaac. Let's head up to Hartford Yard Goats. Victor Juarez is striking out 42% of the time. 42% of the batters he's facing, which is good. 7% walk rate as well. But Mike, you watch more goats than anybody I know. Why is he in the arm barn rather than the rotation? I
think it just comes down to the amount of pitchers that we have. If anybody plays out of the park baseball, you kind of will run into this problem, especially in the AA. You kind of just only have 5 starting spots, and you may have like 6 or 7 guys that you really like to start there. We also have Sean coming up, so that'd be fun when he comes up. So I think we just ran out of spots, and you don't want him repeating Spokane a third time. That's just wasting bullets down there.
Yeah, I
don't mind him in this long relief spot. I do kind of think it's really tough to make the transition back to the starting rotation than it is, once you're kind of in the bullpen, you're kind of stuck there. But a long relief guy is always valuable, so I wonder how he'll do in that. I don't think his stats are really that good this year. I know he's striking out a lot, but I know he's given up quite a lot of runs this year, so we'll see how that ends up. But I hope he just gets a lot of innings throughout the year. I hope he's not like a, 1 inning here and there. I hope it's, 3 innings here, 2 innings there, and long relief type.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. I do you know if he's piggybacking at all with like Gabe Hughes, or do you know when he's coming in?
He's doing a lot of Gabe Hughes, but he's also been like almost like the cleanup guy, where it's like if the game's out of hand, I know it's not a good role, but to kind of just like go out there and pitch 4 innings and have fun.
Yeah, because I mean he has 11 innings pitched with 4 games thrown, and I just remember Forbes saying, yeah, we're probably going to piggyback Gabe as he starts the season, and I'm just wondering if there was something there. I haven't.
There's twice I know that he's piggybacked off Hughes.
Okay. So that might be part of it too. Like, hey, once Hughes gets up or Sullivan's up or whatever, might see a little bit of Victor Juarez. I've always liked Victor Juarez. Could be a nice 4-5 starter. Could be a long reliever. I like his stuff. He's young still. I think he's only 21 still. There's a lot of growth in there. Blake Adams only walked 1 batter across his 16 innings pitch, which is just insane. This is also insane. A 2.22 FIP with a 6.19 ERA. Just crazy drastic change in those 2 numbers, just looking beyond just the traditional stats and like seeing how good Blake Adams is. I like watching Blake Adams pitch dog on the mound. Cole Carrick continue to do Cole Carrick things. Might want him to walk a little bit more. 2 walks a homer, 960 OPS, but only 1 walk to 7 strikeouts. 7 strikeouts in 19 at bats. Probably not the 7 strikeouts in 20 plate appearances. So 35% strikeout rate last week, which is not very good, not something you want to see. And Benny is telling me to shut up, and he went 5 for 20 with a double and a homer. Strikeout rates are not on the rundown, and I didn't have a chance to look it up, so I'm not going to bring it up. But Benny had a nice week. Thank you. Nice job, Benny. Keep it up. Hopefully something there keeps continuing to happen. He's too athletic to not be terrible. And then Jose Torres, your dog, your favorite player, right after Andy Perez, is continuing to be good.
Yeah, I mean, I want to kind of go back to, Jose Torres does right. 2 home runs this week. He's kind of like this weird offensive profile where it's like the glove is there at shortstop. It's beautiful. If you ever watch that guy field a ball, you kind of just see he has like that natural talent to field a ball. Like you see me field, you'll kind of look and be like, all right, that guy, no natural talent to field the ball. Jose Torres, you look at and you're like, wow, that guy was built to field ground balls. And then he also has this offensive profile where it's like, you look at his stats and it's like, wow, he's not really that great of an offensive hitter, but it almost feels like every night he's hitting a bomb. So he hits a lot of home runs. He just doesn't really hit for that average. He's not an overall good hitter yet, but he has the tools to become a very good hitter. Again, this is one of my favorite pickups of the offseason. To get a defensive guy at shortstop, already value. To get guys that can hit bombs. I mean, I don't know why he was even available.
And none of us know why he was available. None of us understand the Rule 5 draft. And then
the minor league portion, I have no clue.
No idea. I think our dude, who's the pitcher that we had? I'm drawing a blank. He was awesome. I think he explained it to
Tyler
us.
Birch.
Yeah, Birch. Birch kind of explained it in his banter session with us. So there is some data out there. And then let's head up to Albuquerque, and then we'll give us our.
Can I shout out one guy?
Shout out.
Matt Turner. Look, I know he's a 1.63 FIP and only 7 innings pitched. Did throw the immaculate inning a couple weeks ago, but he's just been nails as a closer. He's got a couple save opportunities, and he has really been reliable for Hartford.
Yeah,
and the U.S. national team goalkeeper, so he's doing a little bit of everything nowadays.
And I love the fact that joke will never get old. So get ready for it. We will be dropping that all year. Albuquerque Isotopes. So this is where we'll kind of get into our theories. We saw Zach Veen get his call up. Didn't go well. So is there anything in the numbers that showed that Zach Veen could have been ready a little bit more? Probably a terrible question to prompt this segment because I don't know if I know I didn't do the research on Zach Veen and his AAA numbers. Maybe you can get on that while I kind of ramble on. But like the theory is that just players aren't ready in the Colorado Rockies organization for that major league jump. And to be fair, it's been kind of proven that it's true, right? We only saw Brinson Doyle be ready for it once he got a full season under his belt and he actually made the adjustments on the fly while he's at the major league level. Ezekiel Tofar, I think, is still kind of a mixed bag of analysts. Like, is he good? Is he not? I don't know. Big strikeouts, big strikeout rates, big whiff rates, but still hitting more doubles than most people in the league. So there's something there, right? Jordan Beck, we know Jordan Beck and his story. So Michael Toglia and his stuff. So what's missing, right? Like What is happening at the AAA level, the minor league level, where they're not being ready for that major league part? We talk about walk rate and K rate a lot. I know Tyler's big on that. Like Adele Amador has this great discipline, but he was overmatched last year when he made his debut. Mixed bag of that, but he seems to be doing okay this year. Maybe I don't know what his stats are, but his at bats look so much more comfortable this year as he's in the majors. And what is that? Like, what is that transition? Is that because Mullen's is gone? Is that because Hurdle's in here? Is that him just going back to who he is? I don't know. So random theories, like what can we start looking at a little bit more to show that a player is a little bit more ready, or this player needs a little bit more work? We can't just say, oh, this guy has a 1.1 OPS at AAA, he's ready. Zach Dean, Jordan Beck. Let's do it. Eulerys Montero. What is the underlying numbers there that goes?
Japan legend.
Japan legend. So my theory is each player has to be a little bit better at what they're supposed to be good at. And so my example A is Yankiel Fernandez. We all see Yankiel Fernandez's numbers. Like I think he's at a 900 OPS, if not more right now. 13 at bats per home run. I think it's 7 home runs right now.
I will say he is a 92 WRC plus. So I mean he's a little below average currently.
Exactly. So we're seeing like these traditional stats, and we see Yankiel's hitting bombs, like call his ass up. Let's do this. But WRC plus is saying no. But like what's going into that WRC plus, right? Like you love the 13 at bats per home run, right? 15 strikeout rate. That sounds 15% strikeout rate. Sounds great. 6% walk rate. You want that to be a little bit higher, but league average is around 8, so not terrible. ISO is at 280, 284. All those numbers are like, all right, this guy's got some of the tools, right? But how many pitches is he seeing per at bat? How many? What's his BABIP? Is he around the 300 mark, which is good? What is his career BABIP? What is he working on to get better? Blah blah blah. And so right now, Yankiel Fernandez BABIP is at 194, well below the 300 where you want it. Some people say that's lucky, unlucky.
It's unlucky.
It's
I'll bounce back.
With the research I saw, according to Fangraphs, it's not a lucky, unlucky stat. It's a law of average stat. You want to be around the 300 BABIP. What's happening is with Yankiel's BABIP being so low, he's not making good contact. You're seeing his exit velocities. You're seeing the home runs, right? So when he hits it square, he's hitting it great, right? So looking at the Baseball Savant page, thank you, TJ Stats, for creating this beautiful chart for us. Guess, Mike, what his hard hit percentage is right now.
Let me see. 38%.
27%. So Yankiel Fernandez's hard hit percentage is 20. All right. Sorry. 38% is correct. Right. I don't know how percentiles work. He's in the 27th percentile, right? So he's not hitting the ball hard when he's not hitting the ball great, right? His barrel percentage, 96th percentile. But what is happening when he's not getting the barrel on the bat? And that's where the BABIP comes into play. That's where you're looking at slowing your swing down, making good contact, and trying to put the ball somewhere. And right now, Yankiel Fernandez doesn't have that contact piece in his arsenal. So I'm sure those numbers are similar to Hunter Goodman's in the minor leagues. I don't know if TJ Stats goes back to that. So, like, I guess my theory is, like, all right, we're seeing Yankiel Fernandez hit for power, which is exactly what he's supposed to do. We're seeing his walk rate be good, but he's only seen 3.8 pitches. Nope, that was 3.4 pitches per plate appearance. So he's swinging quickly. He's doing the old Mullins things. Curious what that looks like in 2 or 3 weeks as he kind of settles in. What does his 90th percentile exit velocity look like? Right now it's 103, which is the 27th percentile. All the exit velocities are low, but if he's swinging in the zone and he's barreling up the ball, which you see in the AAA at definitely the PCL, he's mashing balls, Montero-like. So there's something in there that needs to be a little bit better for Yankiel Fernandez. So theory is looking at a little bit more of the details behind the numbers and seeing what a player can do to be a little bit better. I don't know how the Rockies fix that with the PCL. That is what it is. I don't know if you just look at the AA numbers. It's going to be a little bit more digging on our part to figure that out. But like, what is happening at that AAA level to that major league level? And I think I'm done.
Yeah, I will say his home run per fly ball, he's at 22%, and last year he was at 10%. So I'm looking at that and saying, all right, he's getting pretty lucky with these home runs. Like, he's not compared to what he normally puts out for a fly ball. Some of these are going out, and that's something you can look at and say, all right, that's going to bounce out. For him, it's going to be the bad way. Right now, Yankee has maybe the most unique offensive profile I've seen in a very long time so far, because he's like you said, he's barreling the ball, but his velocities aren't there, which is something that, like, that's kind of what he was known for, right? Coming out as this, big boy power, and he's not really doing that. I look at the K percent and I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I love that you're not striking out, especially to what we kind of expect from you. But hey, man, I'd rather, if you can get that strikeout rate to 25% and we can get a lot of power back, I think that's a trade-off I would much rather have. So, like, for a guy like Yank, I don't think you should be going there saying, hey, don't strike out. For a guy like Yank, it's like, hey, just don't worry about strikeouts. And granted, don't strike out 50% of the time. But if you're going to be a power bat, like, I'm not saying be Joey Gallo, but, and, don't be a little cautious at the plate, but don't sit there and try to be someone you're not, which is this 15% strikeout guy. He's never really going to be successful if he's trying to do that. He's going to be a guy that strikes out a lot. And that's a fair trade-off if we're getting the power, which we are with the 4 home runs he's had. I think he has 4 or 5 home runs this year. But we're seeing it with the exit velocities. They're down, which that means if we take that over the whole season, he's going to be down on power.
Yes. And I think that's where hopefully people are looking at it in the Rockies organization, right? Like, we have to make better swing choices, and you have to be able to put power behind it and figure it out what that is. Like, work the count to your pitch. Like, only seeing 3.4 pitches per at bat is insane. I looked at Aaron Judge's numbers. These are all of his major league numbers. And so, like, if you're looking at Aaron Judge, best hitter in the league,
who's that?
You don't know who Aaron Judge is? Zach Campbell. Yeah. But Aaron Judge has 3.8 pitches per plate appearance this year, 4 per plate appearance through his career. So he's seeing 0.6 more pitches per at bat.
Losing. How are we losing? Whatever.
I don't know. We're doing great. He has a career BABIP at 350, 18% walk rate, 20% strikeout rate in MLB career, which is just insane. But like, so you're seeing Aaron Judge get more pitches per at bat, and you're seeing his BABIP and all of his strikeout numbers and be a little bit better. So like, if you're seeing more pitches and we're not being so aggressive at the plate, you're able to work the count and get pitches that you can drive. And that's probably something Yadiel Fernandez has to
sound like Brad Pitt right now.
Yeah, let's do it. Moneyball. Let's go. Like, there's something that, like, and that's what we see at the major league level, right? Like, none of the Rockies are patient enough to work at bat. This week has been much better. I'm not getting so frustrated with a Rymack or Michael Tolia at bat that it's just like, what are we doing? Like, we're just swinging. Like, nothing's even comprehending in your brain. There's actually fouling off. They're laying off pitches. They're actually waiting and being selective about their pitches. So I'm wondering if this transition was the Mullins effect. Like, all right, I'm at the top. This is what we're going to work all the way down, and you're going to be aggressive. We saw it with Amador last year when he was in the Yard Goats. He was much more aggressive at the plate before his call up than he was normally. You saw him get to the majors. Dude, man was swinging at everything. Granted, major league pitching is insane, but this year he hasn't been as aggressive at the plate. I don't know. Like, is this a organizational thing? Something that I want it to be, because I'm tired of the pundits and everybody saying, "Oh, we have to fire everybody."
I will say, when it comes to when it comes to hitting and teaching hitting, I know it may sound nice to have like a philosophy as like a team, but like, and you're in like the school system, right? Every student doesn't learn the same. Like, they're gonna need, like, you know what I mean? You can't just throw this like philosophy on everybody and think they're all gonna be really good because of it, right? Yeah, some guys are gonna walk, some guys aren't. And if you try to make a guy that is gonna predicate his game on walking to be more aggressive, and he loses what makes him special, then that philosophy is null, right? That's just not gonna work, and you just ruined a good player. Same thing goes for the opposite. If you're like, hey, I don't want you swinging a lot on the first pitch, and the guy's predicated on, big homers and just a lot of slugging numbers, and you could hurt that guy. I think it's very much case by case basis. Which I wonder if that's the problem with the Rockies. I know I'll throw it to Isaac. I don't know if he has anything to say about any of this. But I wonder if we're just trying to almost like reinvent the wheel here and try to like have this almost like Moneyball approach where it's like, oh, this is what we're going to do as a team and we're going to stick with it no matter what.
Yeah. So before Isaac goes, to your theory, which I think is true, because we saw the Rockies do this with all their pitching, right? We want high contact guys, low fastball, just contact pitchers.
Left-handers that throw funky.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Point, yeah.
And this is what's going to work at Coors, and this is what we're going to do all the way through. That didn't work, right? And so we see the diversification of the arms across the board, all the way down through the farm. So that didn't work. We're trying something different. Granted, Mullins, he was out of the organization. He came in. That was the pitching stuff changed before Mullins was here. So maybe it's not as connected, but it feels very similar to you're going to go up there, you're going to swing quick, and you're going to swing hard. Hopefully you find your pitch.
By the way, I must point out the Rockies striking out the most at while playing at Coors is insanely I don't know how that's
what you should be developing. You need Amadors and just contact
let Amador just be himself. I don't know, let the game come to him. Don't try to put him in a box. All right, Isaac, it's all you.
Whenever I think of discipline, I think there's not a case where it doesn't help. Because you have a power guy that's swinging at a lot of first pitches. You're swinging at a lot of pitchers' pitches, which result in a lot of outs. Yeah. If you minimize your zone, just be more specific early in the count, you're going to make more damage, and that's inevitable. In the Moneyball Athletics, Scott Hatteberg didn't swing at 64% of the first pitches he saw, and that was the best in the MLB. He saw great results. If you look at the Rockies numbers, I don't think anybody's going to be that high just because of how often they are swinging early in counts. And I think a good example of this could be Jonathan Daza. He went from hitting 280 in the MLB to being out the next season just because he was hitting early, swinging early, getting a lot of bad results, not getting on base. And it's just the Rockies are seeing guys like this, and whenever they try changing it, it's just ineffective and not working to their standards. I don't know if you guys have anything to change about what I just said.
Yorvis Torrealba was kind of this high average guy that I was big on. I know the last name's cool, but would have been nice to see him kind of just go out there and have a high average and kind of like Daza.
Yeah, and I'm curious, we see Aiden Longwell. We all love Aiden Longwell, very Adele Amador-like. What does he come? He plays a power position first base. What are they going to turn him into? Is that something they have to create? I don't know. Or do we just let him be him? We saw them try to do some funky things with Grant Levine. High contact guy, high walk rate, who I believe is working, playing down in Mexico. So huge shout out to friend of the pod down there. I think I saw him post on Instagram that he's playing baseball still.
We are a pipeline for these international.
And so Grant Levine felt like he was all right, I got to hit for a little bit more power. I got to compete with Tolia. And we saw his numbers just drastically change once he got past Spokane. Once AA hit and AAA hit, it was different. He wasn't who he was supposed to be. He was swinging a lot. He was high strikeout rate. Walk rate wasn't as high as it was supposed to be. And it just wasn't the same. So there does feel like there was this organizational shift with the batting to now. And that's what's kicking their ass right now at the major league level. So I'm just curious, what it is. We saw Cole Carrick last year. I wrote some things down for him. Last year, bumped up major draft boards, became a top 10 prospect, top 100 prospect, out of nowhere. High contact guy, big speed guy in college, but what made him so great, I guess. So from last year to this year, we'll see how this translates, but he's still at the 10% walk rate from 24 to the 100 at bats this year, but his strikeout rate has pretty much doubled from 19% last year to 37% this year. We see that all the time with AA, from high A to AA. We see that all the time. Again, small sample size. We'll see what this is. His BABIP this year, though, is 375 already. And I think he has a WRC plus of around 130, 140. I am on the page. I can look that up a little bit. But what I'm curious with Cole Carrick, somebody who's got the speed, has some sneaky pop, but pop has never been in his arsenal, especially when he was down in San Diego. Like that wasn't something he had. He had more home runs last year than I think his entire college career combined. So last year he had a 21.5% line drive rate with a 44% ground ball rate. This year that line drive rate is at 19.5%. 44% ground ball rate. So we're keeping waist down. We're hitting it hard. We're not doing fly balls. Like he knows where his game is at. Something I will watch here is with him is like, as he's seeing better competition than High A Spokane, where we saw his numbers go crazy high power, what's going to happen with some of these underlining numbers? What's going to happen to the line drive rate? What's going to happen to the BABIP strikeout rate? What is he creating? How many pitches is he seeing per plate appearance? Because what made him great last year was the line drive, ground ball, and then finding your pitch. Curious what happens this year with him. It's just something I'm watching out for. Anything else? There's left behind.
No, I mean, there is value to like, you're going to face pitchers that, you know, we're going to have games where pitchers just have our number. If we're not working like counts and stuff, that pitcher goes 7 or 8 innings or even 9, right? If we can work counts and we can get like a guy that he may be dominating us, but we just get him, he's not in the game after the 6th inning, like that's so much more valuable than I think. It's like an intangible thing where you can't really see the value in that, but it's very valuable to just work counts, work pitch, and even like, I mean, it's the money ball thing. Like, you know, no one wants to play someone that works counts. Like, it's just annoying. Right? Like it's the worst. You're in the 8th pitch of the at-bat, like, you know, and then they're really, once you're in 8 pitches out of the at-bat, you're really seeing the ball well out of the guy's hand.
Yeah, you're ready.
So, like, I mean, if you're taking 3 pitch at-bats, you're not going to see the ball well. Not only that, you're not going to see, even when you see him again the second time, you only saw 3 pitches, so you're not really getting a good, fair look at it. And so I think everything is Colts managing this, and plus, I mean, even if we fix the hitting, we give up 8 runs a game. So maybe next pod we focus on the pitching side of things and see what's going wrong there.
I think we can. We'll have a week to look at it. Another theory is, I texted you and Tyler about it, but I haven't had a chance to look at it, is the bat speed for the Colorado Rockies. Like we see Jacob Wilson doesn't strike out, doesn't walk, but his bat speed is lowest, like one of the bottom 5 percentile in the league. Because he's just swinging to make contact, right? Luis Ariz, low bat speed, high contact guy. Like, are all the Rockies' bat speeds just crazy high, like for themselves or across the league?
It's pretty average. I know, even like, I'm pretty sure when you sent me that, I looked at the Rockies' bat speed, and it's actually kind of the opposite. Most of our better hitters are the slow guys, the bat speed guys that are really just kind of focusing on making contact. When it first came out, a lot of people kind of looked at it as like the gospel, where it's like, oh, high bat speed, you're going to hit for a lot of power, you're going to be good. Oh. But we kind of all looked at it and kind of determined you can win with any sort of bat speed, right? Yeah. Granted, if you swing very hard, you're going to hit the ball hard. That's how that works. But also, I mean, if someone's throwing a 101 mile per hour fastball, it doesn't really matter how hard you swing it. If you make a barrel on it, like it's going to go far. So
exactly. And that's why I'm curious, like, I would love to see bat speeds. Maybe this summer I can track it. Like, what is each player's bat speed on certain pitches? Like, are we swinging 100? I don't even know what a good bat speed is. Are we swinging high? It's probably like 80 miles per hour. First 2 strikes. And then are we going down to 70 when there's 2 strikes? And like, are we shortening things up? Like, is there that kind of mentality, or is it really go all out all the time, which is what it looks like? Not looking at the numbers from the eye test, it looks like they're swinging hard all the time. Just another theory that I kind of want to watch and go forward.
Which, like, if you can be aggressive, but if you're always aggressive, you're really easy to mess with, right? If you can kind of temper your aggressiveness, it gets really tough because you don't know when they're just going to turn it on and be aggressive. If you're always aggressive, though, you know, slider outside, strike 1, right? That's how that works. And then you can work the count from there. Like Galli-Tolio, I mean, I said it before the pod. I said there's been a lot of at-bats this year where, like, he strikes out and there's not really a good pitch the whole at-bat. And it's like, why are we doing that? Like, we use the term professional at-bats. I mean, at this point, there's a lot of guys in the Rockies lineup that are giving you quite the opposite, where they're just kind of just going out there swinging at everything. And I don't know if it's like a mental thing because we're currently slumping the whole team very badly. Right. So maybe it is kind of that, like they're just kind of like trying to aggressively hit their way out of a slump, which could be it. You know, if you're in a slump, I can kind of see the mental aspect of that where it's like, hey, let's just swing for the fences. But I don't know. I would love to talk. Maybe in the offseason we can get some Rockies guys on, some coaches or something, and really break down like what are they telling these guys? Like, what is the game plan? We need someone to like hack into like their servers or something. See what the scouting reports look like.
Telling us what's going on. I had a theory while you're talking and I lost it. I don't know I forgot what it was. Oh no, it's another theory is like these old veteran guys are surrounded by young guys who are very aggressive and trying to make a name for themselves and that kind of thing. So Ryan McMahon, kind of to your point, like they're stressing to be good, to take some pressure off these young guys. So I think there's a little bit of that. We know baseball's 100% mental. And like, if you're not in the right mental capacity to figure it all out, you're going to struggle. And I think I speak for all of us when we say hitting a baseball is super hard. None of us are able to do it the way.
I mean, Hunter Goodwin just struck out with one pitch in the zone.
Thank you for
I'm looking at it right now, the game day. So, but he did it a home run, so that's fair. I'll give him that.
All right, so I'm going to watch this pitch with no idea.
Oh, the fifth one, watch it.
And that's what he swung out. That's what he swung at the pitch before. There was the same exact pitch. That's what he struck out on that outside slider. So clearly, there's a game plan for Hunter.
I mean, outside slider. That's the oldest trick in the book.
Yeah, low away slider. Like you should have that in the back of your mind. It didn't look like he was swinging for the fences either. It looked like he kind of slowed it down. But I don't know. So we have a bunch of theories. We'll see how it goes out. Huge shout out to Sean. Thank you. Go Avs, I guess. I know we were about 30 minutes late, but thank you for stopping in and saying what's up. But want you to hear your name on your pod, on the pod. And also I kicked your ass in BSB Fantasy this week. You suck. I win. Boom. Jack. Yeah, we're talking analytics. Not very, very well. We're very basic analytics right now, but
this is like Rockies analytics. This is probably how they talk.
This is the spin cycle. But I don't know. It's just something that I think I want to get a little bit better at. I want to watch and see. Let's see Yankiel Fernandez's pitches per plate appearance go up and see what his line drive fly ball percentage is like. I want to see high fly ball pull from Yankiel Fernandez, and I want to see line drives and ground balls from Cole Carrick and see what happens with all that. So
yeah,
I think next week.
A freak in the Google Sheets, you know?
No, I'm not doing that. I don't have time for that. But it would be awesome to create like spreadsheets and stuff, but not the time for that. Mickey Moniak.
No, it's layout.
Yeah, so next week I think we'll look at the pitching stuff, like all the BABIP that we talked about is kind of reverse for the pitching and see what we look at, how many pitches per plate appearance there pitchers going. Like, are we nibbling? Are we all over the place? That kind of stuff.
I will say Blaylock getting caught up after he was getting shelled in Albuquerque was a little, I don't know, a little predictive that he struggled. I don't know how they thought it would be anything other than that, but
what else?
He's walking a lot of guys, right? Guys are teeing off on him when it's in the zone, and then they're like, hey, this is our guy. Right? I don't know.
I mean, he's next on the list. Like, there's nobody else to really call up right now.
And he doesn't work at Coors either. So the spot start, him being the spot start at Coors is very odd. I'd much rather have him
on the road would be nice. Like, throw up Ryan Reynolds and see what happens. I don't know. So next week we'll do our best analytics department for pitching, and we'll dive into it a little bit next week. Anything else for the good of the cause, fellas?
I will say, remember when that report came out where our analytics department was like doing laundry or something? I don't know if you guys remember that. It was like a big meme on Rocky Twitter for a little bit. So yeah, shout out the Department of Laundry doing the analytics.
You missed my spin cycle joke earlier.
Oh, is that what that was? Okay.
Gotta be better, man. Go Rocks, my league affiliates. Woo!